Hello. I got placed in the Flipkart business development role. I'll briefly go down like the responsibilities that the job entails. The first one would be regarding, so it covers the end-to-end customer journey of Flipkart. So you will be responsible from the time where you have the awareness sector of the consumer journey, like that's promotion, marketing, to customers, to the operations of the company, and also to the feedback loop, also the customer retention part where you have loyalty program. So the first part, like you will be responsible for customer understanding, and also that entails you to have data-driven understanding of like who is your consumer, what are they buying, what are their buying patterns, and you also have to identify like cross-selling and upselling opportunities in the company. You also have to have like acute, like really good quantitative skills, in the sense that you need to have pricing models for like what should a product be priced, like is there an opportunity for you to price a product lower to actually sell volumes. You also have to have a clear strategy and vision for like the company. It's like, do you want to push a certain product forward? So this is implemented through the business analyst role itself. So you also have like the operations part of the company where you have to keep track of inventory and like the sourcing of products from like key supply chain factors as such. You're also in the marketing and promotions part. You also have to take care of SEOs, social media like activities for your PR and publicity. You also have to make sure that like your holidays, sales, and the big billion days that Flipkart has, you are the one who actually puts down like what products goes where in that role. So you have to make sure that like you understand the consumer as such. So like let's say Flipkart shows a certain product for Bangalore Janta like in a particular way, and like Hyderabad people in a certain way. So you'll have to understand like how each customer responds and how their behavior pattern is. So that is all like the responsibility of the business development, the role. So going into the selection procedure, so the first one is a resume shortlist. So they basically don't have tests. So it just basically looks for if you have an all-round application, like all-round profile. So if you have like multiple things like extracurriculars, PR, CG, research, any mixture of that sort will actually get you through the resume shortlist. It's like based out of the consult shortlist itself, but it's more easy to get into. So they take around 150 people, and the next step would be a GD. Like during like this company comes during day 2.1. So the GD will be happening where like out of the 150 people, they like shortlist like around 50 after the GD. So the GD will be like normally like some current affairs or something related to Flipkart itself. So like something that they have in mind. Let's say their furniture business and like maybe the telecom industry. So the GD topic that I got was basically the telecom sector in India. It's like so you could basically go about like what are the current things that is happening in the telecom industry, like the bleeding of the industry because of the price wars between Jio and Idea and all that stuff. You could go around with that. So the next round for me, I just had 2 rounds. It could like end up till like 5 or 6 rounds, but like I just had 2 rounds. Like the first round was basically a mix of HR and business cases. So you have the basic HR questions like what is your strength, what is your weakness, name a situation where you had to face obstacles and of that sort. I also had a business case. Like in my scenario, I had a business case like aligned very straightforward to what consult people do. But it was more on the lines of what Flipkart would do. So my first question was like, how do you operationalize furniture business for Flipkart? So if Flipkart wants to open a furniture segment in their website, so how would you go about that? So like you have to actually have a very linear thought process and like write everything down and things like that. Like that is a very simple way. If you have done like case prep properly, you could like easily ace it. And the second round was basically business cases plus puzzles. So my second business case was like, how do you launch Flipkart in a tier 2 city? And it was followed up by some puzzles. And after that, they gave me the offer. So going about the prep that you need for this this entire process. So the first thing, the resume shortlist, like make sure that your profile is all rounded. Like if you have like medium, like moderate amount of like adequate consult profile in your resume, you will easily make it through the resume shortlist. So that's basically for the resume shortlist. Other than GD, just make sure that you're like up to date with the current affairs and like you can talk about like economic stuff and like finance stuff and business stuff like on the go. Like at least know like the keywords are here, like you can just like blather shit. So that will get you through the GD. Yeah, and basic GD foundation, like how do you like actually perform well on a GD? Just do that and prepare well, and like you could ace through the GD. The interview part, make sure that like you are good with cases. So if you're like recently well with cases, they'll like give you like the offer in 2 rounds. So if you have like done your cases where like the market entry cases and like how do you like profitability cases and stuff like that. So it's once you get attuned to that sort of thinking, it's pretty easy in that case. And Flipkart business cases are not that hard compared to what Consult offers, which is very vague. So it will be very core business. So if you get like the business strategies in your mind, it's pretty easy to crack. And the basic funda, like so when you go into the interview, like they want somebody who can work across teams and across different segments. So you need somebody who has like that has like shows a medium like a lot of confidence on the go itself. So they have the capability to like communicate really properly. So once you go into the interview, I would suggest that like you go with like the basic interview funda of being like really confident and actually like owning your shit what you say. Yeah, so that's the basic prep part and your future options. So Flipkart, like why this role in the sense is that like it's very highly impact driven. So as a business development associate in Flipkart, you would actually be able to like give on ground impact of that sort. So you like one changing of product will like actually lead to company gaining like 2 crores or 3 crores of business in a single day. So let's say big billion day sales. So you just switch one product. And this actually happened to like all of our alums. You're making like 3 crore plus profits just by a switch of a product, or like just showing a product on the homepage during a big billion day would lead to like 3 crores and 5 crores of business happening. So it's very highly impact driven, and yeah, you're always optimizing for like revenues and stuff like that. So like you are very like operations wise, you are really good at this. And the company itself, Flipkart, is very entrepreneurial. So there's like almost 207 startups that budded out of ex-Flipkart employees. You guys might have heard of Flipkart Mafia. So yeah, it's very entrepreneurial, and like these are the things that like the company environment and the culture actually fosters like startups. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, like it's better to go with this company. There's also like the fact that BD roles are like increasing the economy. Like companies are understanding the value of like having a dedicated person understand the consumer and make consumer-centric decisions. So like a figure is around 20% growth in BD roles across the economy every year. So like factor that in. So like it's sort of the same as data analytics jobs. So it's a booming economy. So if you catch this wave of business development, you could actually make it big. And the other thing is that like this also sets you up for managerial posts, because you have a depth that like you have a breadth of experience across operations, marketing, and strategy. So once you have all that breadth, that sets you up for a higher managerial position. This also sets you up for an MBA role. So that's basically why you want to do a BD. Yeah. Is there any questions?
Any questions that anyone?
So what were some preparation materials you would suggest, or how did you prepare for?
Yeah, so most of the preparation would be aligned towards what Consult is. So I would suggest that even for Consult, I would suggest that you like get to know about like the business ecosystem that's happening in India and around the world, like the business news. So like some material that I would recommend is that you go through like the McKinsey podcast. And like there's a lot of podcasts like Harvard Business School podcast and like Wharton Business School and stuff like that. That gives you a feel for like how like business works as a whole, because like we being BTech students, we are not like A plus B equal to C is not the thing that happens in business. There's a lot of like HR, like strategy and stuff like that, which is very non-linear. So you need to wrap your head around like how business works and like human psychology like goes into all these things. So you have to make sure that you get that part. Stay up to date with current affairs and basic Consult funda of like doing cases. That's basically all that you have to do. And puzzles. Like make sure you get your puzzles right. Like I covered all my puzzles, but like that shouldn't be the case ideally. You should like get all your puzzles right. So just heard on the street, day 1.0, case interviews cracked or something of that sort is there. So yeah, those stuff will actually get you through the interview like breeze.